Hey Facebook, happy FAQ Friday. Hey Instagram, happy FAQ Friday. So this Friday, because I was gone for 2 weeks of my travels, there are a lot of questions. I don't know that I'm going to get through all of them today, so if you asked a question it doesn't get answered, it might be repurposed to next week. If you're on Facebook, I actually included a list of the questions I'm definitely going to get to today. Instagram, you don't get to see them, sorry about that. But I'm going to try to do as many as I can. Thank you for all our new VIPs who submitted so many amazing questions. There's so much to talk about. Okay, so the first question is, can you please talk about how much fat we need? And this is a really great question. So there's a couple of things here. So Dr. Campbell, who is an awesome person, I love him, he wrote this book called Whole, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's a fabulous book. And he kind of talks about this whole thing about how our society has become obsessed with reductionism. Like we just really focus on this one little thing and there's one macronutrient, and that's not how we're designed, and it's not actually healthy. And our bodies are like these amazing machines. And so as long as you eat right, as long as you're eating, a healthy, whole food, and you're not eating really highly processed crap or really synthesized things, if you're just eating the way nature intended, your body's going to know what to do with it. And it's kind of like your car. You put gas in your car. You don't need to tell your car how to do it. You don't need to obsess about you just give it the right gas and the car knows how to run with it. And we're the same way. So as long as we're eating right and we're eating healthy and we don't have a special medical condition, such as, when they're pregnant, that's a special medical condition. And so they're going to have more needs because they're pregnant, they have a baby, or if they're breastfeeding, or if you have a sickness, something you're dealing with. Yes, then a little bit more care and concern needs to be taken because you're having those things. But generally speaking, if you're otherwise healthy, as long as you're eating a whole foods diet, you're not eating all this processed, synthesized, created in a lab stuff, your body's going to know what to do with it and take care of you and make sure you get enough, provided, like I said, that you're eating whole foods is, And this is a really great thing actually that they talk about with supplement research is there's all these supplements and it's vitamin C and it doesn't work. And almost all the times when you take vitamins, you end up just urinating all of them out. And the reason for this is, I know you guys can see Scott walking around back there. One of the reasons for this is your body, when it's eating an apple, it knows what to do with the apple and it knows what to do with all the things that are inside the apple all paired together. But when it's been extracted and isolated out and you take it, your body's what is that? I don't know what that is. That looks weird. That doesn't look like the shoe that I wear. So that's something to think about. So I know it's really scary and early and you're I want to do everything right and I really want to take care of myself and I want to eat well, and you're just focus on eating the whole foods, focus on eating healthy. Don't worry about all little macro and micro stuff unless, like I said, you have a medical condition, in which case you should be talking to your doctor about what you need to do there. So that's just something to think about. It's sort of like the protein. There's protein in everything. There's fat in everything. Every food you eat, whether it's an apple or rice or kale or a banana or broccoli, all of that has fat in it. All of it has protein in it. All of it has carbohydrates in it. And your body and what it needs, it will pull it out. And that's really one of the most amazing things about our bodies is that our bodies know what it needs. We don't know. We like to think we do. We look at apps and charts and try to, but really it's only our bodies that know, and they never tell us. We try to control everything, and we got to let go of that. I know I'm a control freak too, but you got to let go and just let your body take care of it. And there's all this amazing science and research, and it's all out there. Check out the Shortcut to Slim podcast where there's bioavailability. So there's actually a really great podcast on this, season 1 of Shortcut to Slim, and I talk about bioavailability and how, let's say this apple that I have right here that you can't see, let's pretend, I'm going to get a real apple, hold on. Okay, so I have this beautiful Honeycrisp apple, and there's all treasure troves of stuff in here. There's, all different vitamins and minerals and whatever. So let's pretend for right now that this apple that I'm holding right here, which has no nutritional label, so we don't know, it does have a sticker from buying it. Let's take that off. So let's say that this apple has 100 milligrams of vitamin C. I have no idea whether that would be accurate or not. That's fine. I don't know. There's no way for me to know. Every apple is different. Another apple from the exact same tree that's the same size may have 105, may have 110. But here's the kicker. Even if there is 100 in this, that doesn't mean I'm going to actually take all that 100 in. And I have no way of knowing how much of that 100 I'm going to take in or not. And the way that's decided is my body decides. If we just don't need vitamin C, it's going to be whatever, we're not going to take any from the apple. We'll just send it right out the next time she goes to the bathroom. But maybe my body was like, yeah, we're going to take all of the bioavailability today. These are just things that you don't know. And that's why, like, you run yourself ragged and you go crazy trying to count and calculate and all that. It's totally a fruitless effort. It's just not even worth your energy. All your energy, all your focus should be on eating this thing and letting your body do the rest. And so just think of it. Food is fuel. I'm fueling my body. My body's going to know what to do with the fuel. I just got to get it to the fuel. You just got to get your car to the gas station. It's that simple. It's that beautiful. That's the magic of eating these beautiful whole foods. So, long story, long answer, but yes, this apple does have fat in it. I know you don't want to believe that it does, but it has fat and carbohydrates and proteins, and my body's going to know what to do with it. And it's the same with, like, oh, vegans, proteins. You get them all the meal, all the time. Doesn't have to be eaten together. Your body just takes the tools and works it out. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So, okay, rant over there. Let me see. Hi, Lindsay. I'm 31 and I'm having issues with very oily hair and skin. I cut oil out of my plant-based lifestyle. Is this a hormonal issue? Do I need to eliminate something else from my diet? So this is a really long, very complicated question. I think I'm actually gonna take, oh no, Scott, help. I don't know what happened. I switched to my screen view and it's not on me. Oh, I fixed it. Never mind. Okay, we're all right. So this is a really very detailed question, and I'm going to actually do a blog post about it because I did some research on it. And the short of it is it's probably not your diet, at least with your hair. If your hair is oily, it's probably not your diet. It can be one of many other reasons. It can be the products you're using, how frequently you're washing your hair, how often you're brushing your hair. For me, when I stopped washing my hair so much and brushing, I don't really ever brush my hair, I know. There's a confession for you guys. That's why it looks wild in some of these videos. But once I stopped washing my hair so frequently, the oil really reduced. And I also had to change the shampoos I was using. And so a lot of different things were going on there. But yeah, so flat irons, brushing, the products you're using, whether it's the shampoo, conditioner, or even just like hair gel or whatever, that can all make your hair very oily. It can be hormonal too. With diet, if your skin's really oily, it can again be a number of things. It could be hormones, but it could be your regimen. It could be how often you're washing or not washing, what you're washing with, if you're not washing, blah, blah, blah. Could be many things. If you are eating dairy, that's probably what it is. If you are eating really refined stuff like pretzels, like really refined sugars or flour, that can also make your skin oily. So that could maybe be diet, but most often it's kind of like lifestyle practices. And sometimes you just can't help it. I happen to have Mediterranean skin, so I'm always going to have some level of oiliness in my skin and my hair, way more. It also could be your weather, whether you live in a humid or a hot climate, or even if you're indoors, like if you're using dry heat or like a radiator, or if you work in an office that's air conditioning, that can make you sweat more and that can make you more oily. So there's a bazillion things going on, but there is some help in things you can do. And so lots of information I'm going to put in a blog post. Let me see my next question that I was going to go over. Oh, and there's also a really great video of me from like 5 years ago washing my face with baking soda. I still do that. Watch it. It's on YouTube. How much weight is too much to lose too fast to be unhealthy? This is a question that's really difficult to answer just because it depends on the person and how much weight they need to lose, like total, like in order to fit medical standards of healthy, because I don't tell people. I've actually, if you've been listening to Shortcut to Slim this season, you'll know that I don't even say the word overweight, or I try not to, because that implies that there is a right weight for everyone and whatever. So how much? Medically, the medical definition is suggested at 1 to 2 pounds per week. But again, this really just depends. If someone only is like slightly, like they just have, like their body, if you're going by body mass index, or what I prefer, the body fat percentage, if their body fat percentage is just slightly overweight by medical standards, you know, that's a medical word, then 2 pounds would be like ridiculous for them, because there's it's just not too much. But for someone who, you know, is looking at a long journey of like 50 or 100 pounds, 2 pounds is enough. So what I tell people is when you're losing weight, whatever it takes to lose weight is what it takes to keep it off. And that's the most important thing. So whatever you're doing, it has to be totally sustainable. And if what you're doing is not sustainable, then you're being unhealthy, and that's wrong. And the other thing too is that if you are uncomfortable, or you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like you're suffering, again, this is all from the Shortcut to Slim podcast, that means maybe take a pause and think about it. But ultimately, if you're starting to like look for numbers or ways or whatever, you're probably justifying or validating, and that is probably your first clue that what you're doing maybe not be so good. But it, like I said, it completely varies. If you are a member and you're unsure of the exact weight that you need to be aiming for, just email Set Support and I'll talk to you directly. And one of the things that was like sort of a follow-up question is people were saying like, well, I've heard that if you lose a whole lot of weight, you can hurt your heart. And that's not untrue. But what this kind of misconception or thought comes from is from the people that do things like The Biggest Loser. These like Herculean efforts, which again, whatever it takes to lose weight is what it takes to keep it off. So do something that you can live with. You have to be loving the life you're living while you're losing weight. That is not it. That is crazy pants. That is Herculean. And yes, a lot of the people on The Biggest Loser have had horrible things happen to them physically, lots of complications, heart damage, things like that. But that's because of what they were doing. And most of us aren't doing that at home, and we're not at risk for that. So don't worry too much. If you are doing it in a healthy, safe way, you should be fine. Of course, you could talk to your doctor, you could talk to me, but most of us are not at risk for those kinds of things. But if you are doing something that you know is risky, well, yeah, there's your first clue. One of the questions someone asked me was about tricks for dining out, and I have so many blog posts on this. The Happy Hoover Guide to Plant-Based Living has an entire chapter, so I don't want to talk about that today just because there's so many other questions, but I will table it and maybe get to it next week. But if you need some answers right now, definitely check out like the dining out tips on happyherbivore.com. I'm curious about oats. I noticed your recipes feature rolled oats, but I like steel cut oats. Can I use them? So if it's a breakfast thing, like you're making an oatmeal in the morning, if you want to use steel cut oats, by all means do so. It's super healthy. It's a whole grain. But if it's something like a bean burger where I'm using oats in the recipe, steel cut oats aren't going to work there. So definitely use rolled then, which are those like little, whatever's the little smaller ones. Are there pitfalls to eating potatoes for breakfast rather than oatmeal? Absolutely not. If you like potato for breakfast, go for it. I love a potato for breakfast. That's actually what I'm having. The best way to track body fat percentage loss is through a body scan. Calipers, not reliable. Water tanks, not so reliable. All the calculators and charts and apps, not reliable at all. But a DEXA scan or InBody, which is what I've been using, those are the best. Unfortunately, they're kind of expensive and they're not always easy to come by, but if that's what you need, that's what's best for tracking. And I think I might have time for like one more question. Let me see, what else did I have put down for the ones I was going to answer. Too many windows open. Oh, no. Oh, now my calendar's popping me up to let me know that I have a meeting. Someone asked about picky kids. There is a treasure trove of recipe ideas in the forum, so if you're a member, check there. Ways to stop nighttime snacking. Definitely going to get that to next week. This is a great question. What do you do about avocado so it doesn't brown? This is a fabulous hack, whether you've made guacamole or you're just doing the slices. If you keep the pit with it, it will stay green and not turn brown. So that's awesome. So at parties, I just like leave the pit in my guacamole. And during the week, I just, as I'm going to take avocado for a serving for one of the meals, I just slice it off and just leave the rest kind of still intact. Some people have a lot of luck with putting lemon or lime juice on the avocado too. A great hack, if you are using the meal plans, is you can just use guacamole instead of avocado, and they sell like those 2 ounces of guacamole. So sometimes I'll just put that with our lunches, and so then I don't have to worry about the brown issue. I think that was my last question that I had that I was going to get to this week. I talked about the body wash. Let me just check to make sure. Oh, curious about clarifying organic foods. So, I think that was my last one. Yeah, that's the last one I'm going to be able to get to because I have to run to another meeting. So organic foods. My feeling is if you can afford organics, by all means buy them. If you can't afford it, it's fine. It's better to just eat, a whole plant food, eat the apple, than to fuss about the organics. I always tell people to eat the best plant. Let's try that again. Eat the best plants you can afford. If that includes organics for you, fabulous. If it doesn't, it's okay. There's a lot of organic foods that I can't afford, or I just will not pay that price. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. I have a million things to worry about and a million things to try on any given day, and I am doing myself a world of favor by just following my meal plans and eating these whole foods and eating a plant-centered diet. That is what matters more than anything. So eat the apple. If you can afford an organic one, if you have access to an organic one, if you prefer an organic one, by all means, more power to you. You do you, I do me. That's how it works. That's it. It's FAQ Friday. I have to go. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for all the loves and thoughts. And I know there was a lot of members whose questions did not get answered, and I promise I will do it on next week's FAQ Friday. And with that, I have to go to physical therapy for my shoulder, so that's going to be fun. So think of me, and I love you guys, and have an amazing weekend. And Scott might be back later today or maybe tomorrow to cook for you guys, since you guys have enjoyed him so much. And I'll be around too, so we'll see you guys soon. Have a good day.